Tommy Robinson, people have been protesting in his name. What do you make of Tommy Robinson? Is he a good guy in your eyes?
No. All of that lot, we have nothing to do with them.
Even the protesters who have got banners up saying two-tier Keir, you agree with them on the policing and justice?
We agree with ourselves. I'm not aligning ourselves with Tommy Robinson's lot in any shape or form.
The Reform UK has just caused a real storm of outrage when Tommy Robinson suddenly changed his position, making a shocking statement that shocked everyone. What's really going on? Let's look into this confusing situation. After the events over the weekend, many people began to reject reformist Britain as a political party, and this is alarming. I was a proponent of reform, or at least I considered myself to be one before. But after Richard Tice's remarks over the weekend, I, like many of you, feel deeply unhappy about the way he expressed his views. For those who don't know, Tommy Robinson has been one of the first over the years to boldly raise the issue of serious crimes committed by child exploitation gangs in the UK. His tireless struggle for justice, despite fierce criticism and pressure, has brought him to the center of a national debate that has caused deep divisions and controversy. Critics often call Robinson far-right, but he bravely endured all difficulties and made personal sacrifices to draw attention to the system failures that allowed these terrible crimes to continue. However, recent revelations about organized information concealment have only confirmed the truthfulness of many of his claims, and this is causing even more outrage and discontent among people.
Have you or anyone from Reform UK been in touch with Elon Musk about his tweets on UK politics in recent days?
I haven't spoken to him for some time, a few days. He's tweeting about everything. He's tweeting about farming, he's tweeting about Keir Starmer's competence, he's tweeting about Tommy Robinson, he's tweeting about me, Reform UK. He has a whole range of opinions, some of which I agree with very strongly, and others of which I'm more reticent about. Oh, having him as a supporter is very helpful to our cause. I mean, goodness me. I mean, he's an absolute hero figure, particularly to young people in this country. So yes, he's very helpful indeed. Now look, everyone says, well, what about his comments on Tommy Robinson? Look, my position is perfectly clear on that. I never wanted Tommy Robinson to join UKIP. I don't want him to join Reform UK, and he won't be.
The recent revelations have caused a real shock in public opinion, causing a storm of emotions and discussions. The focus was on the activities of Tommy Robinson, the failure of political leadership, and the consequences for the future of justice and freedom of speech in the United Kingdom. This gives the discussion incredible importance and relevance. Billionaire entrepreneur and defender of freedom of speech Elon Musk strongly supported Robinson, calling for his immediate release. His involvement caused a real wave of outrage in political circles, raising crucial questions about Reform UK's position on Robinson and whether Musk's influence could lead to drastic changes in their approach.
Robinson's talked about this, but he has a criminal record, a list as long as your arm. Violence against women. I mean, I could go on, Nick. And all I'm saying is, look, Mr. Robinson, do what the hell you like. We are totally separate from that. But if I was to embrace, as it looks like I was being urged to do, the sort of violent, thuggish people like Robinson, that would do our party immense harm. And probably rightly so, actually. So the fact that I've stood up on a point of principle, even if in the short term it's to my detriment, Neil, in the long run, may even work in our favour.
For decades, the United Kingdom has faced appalling systemic failures in the fight against violent gangs. The shocking facts of the exploitation of vulnerable young girls are becoming known through reports, and this is causing anger and outrage. Victims are often silenced by the very institutions that were supposed to protect them, leaving them alone with their suffering. Investigations have shown that the authorities ignored or downplayed these crimes for fear of being accused of racism. This created an atmosphere in which predators acted with impunity, while victims and informants were left alone with their troubles, which is simply unacceptable. Robinson's attempts to expose these crimes, including making documentaries and confronting officials, were met with fierce resistance. They called him an agitator and accused him of inciting ethnic tension, but he didn't give up. Despite all the criticism, Robinson's persistence drew public attention to the problem, forcing the authorities to finally acknowledge the scale of the tragedy. Recent revelations have once again highlighted the seriousness of this crisis. The evidence suggests that key figures in law enforcement agencies and local councils actively concealed information in order to avoid political consequences. The shocking scale of this cover-up is causing outrage and has led to renewed calls for transparency and accountability. Robinson's long-standing warnings now look almost prophetic, and this should make us all think about what is happening in our society.
Labour So yes, the simple answer is the people want reform. We need root and branch reform in this country. And this appalling rape gang scandal that you've
hang about. Let's get to that. Let me ask you.
Well, that's the most important issue
first,
today,
if we may. This weekend, one of your MPs was heckled by a couple of members who were evidently supporters of Tommy Robinson and the English Defence League. Have you identified and expelled them?
No one's interested in a convicted criminal, Trevor. We're talking about the most horrific
I'm interested in your members. Have you found the two people who stood up and heckled Lee Anderson and said Tommy Robinson should be freed?
Trevor, are you going to ask questions about the most important horrific scandal?
Yes, I am. But I am. If you get to the point where you answer the question I've asked you.
No one's interested in your juvenile questions about some heckler at some event.
Elon Musk's involvement was a truly shocking twist in this evolving story. Known for his passion for defending free speech and willingness to challenge the establishment, Musk has used his powerful platform to draw attention to Tommy Robinson's work. He not only shared links to Robinson's documentaries, but also asked a reasonable question: why does the United Kingdom continue to punish those who boldly reveal the truth? Musk's criticism of the UK's justice system and political leadership has resonated with many, highlighting the serious consequences of the gang exploitation scandal. The next evening, the leader of the Reform UK, Nigel Farage, announced that he was a co-founder of the English Defence League, but Tommy Robinson was not welcome in his party. After loudly supporting Robinson, whose real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, Musk caused a heated debate about freedom of speech and the role of informants in a democratic society. Musk's decision to highlight Robinson's case not only strengthens his reputation, but also poses a serious challenge for UK leaders to confront the systemic failures and conditions that allowed these horrific crimes to continue. This is a moment that requires courage and determination, and now all eyes are on those who must act.
A couple of nights ago, focus on the really important thing. Do your job properly.
I see. We're starting the new year with a message of peace and goodwill, are we? Let's just deal with the question I asked you, then we can get on to the things you want to talk about. Have you found those two? Have you found the people who heckled Lee Anderson, and do you plan to expel them? Answer yes or no, and then we can get on to the things you want to talk about.
It's irrelevant, Trevor. What's relevant is we want a national inquiry into the most horrific scandal. That's what tens of millions of people are focused on. That's what your viewers want to hear about. Instead, you're pursuing some juvenile line of
Forgive me, Richard. I know what my viewers want to hear about.
Trevor,
look, what I'm going to take from this, is that
my dear Trevor,
that reform
on the reality,
will tolerate
not some
members of the English Defence League in their membership, which is fine.
It is especially important for Nigel Farage that one of the richest people in the world, an American billionaire and a close ally of Donald Trump, supports him online. However, Elon Musk's public support for Tommy Robinson could be a real game-changing turning point. If Reform UK decides to embrace Musk's vision, it could narrow the gap between the party and Robinson's supporters, who are eager to be heard. Such a step would not only strengthen their support base, but would also help Reform UK establish itself as a political force that is ready to boldly take a clear position on controversial issues, which is so necessary in our time.
He's a convicted criminal, he's in jail, he's nothing to do with us and never will be. It is as clear and as simple as that. We're a serious political party looking to win the next general election and to run this country with root and branch reform to get things properly organised and properly governed again.
Would you say that Mr. Yaxley Lennon is a dangerous individual?
I don't know the individual. I don't know him. I've never met him. I've never spoken to him.
In terms of his impact on British politics?
I've no idea. All I know is that he's been in jail a number of times for a number of issues and he's currently in jail.
Despite the possible benefits, Reform UK is facing serious difficulties in reconsidering its position towards Tommy Robinson. The party risks alienating moderate supporters who see Robinson as a figure who promotes division and conflict. Moreover, working with him may give political opponents and the mainstream media the opportunity to harshly criticise the Reform UK, undermining its broader agenda and questioning its values. Elon Musk's influence on UK politics has proved to be truly significant. His willingness to challenge the existing order and draw attention to Tommy Robinson's work has brought back to the agenda the problems of banditry and systemic failures that have remained in the shadows for so long. Musk's criticism of the political leadership and his calls for justice have resonated with a global audience, raising awareness about the scandal and its broader social consequences. Recent polls show that Reform UK could win up to 120 seats in the upcoming elections, and the party is actively holding national conferences to take advantage of the strong support it received in previous elections. However, association with far-right elements, including Elon Musk's support for Tommy Robinson, can pose a serious danger. While Musk's support could create a powerful alliance to advance justice and government accountability reforms, Reform UK must carefully weigh the pros and cons of teaming up with a controversial figure like Robinson. See you later.